trying to get in by WebEx in his car and couldn't, but now he's here in person. I'm going to let him start, then we'll go to Senator Rubio, then we'll go to me. Senator Cardin.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sometimes I have a little bit of a challenge. I live in Baltimore and commute every day, so I'm in a car a lot, and had a hard time working my monitor in the car today. I wasn't driving. I just want everybody to know that. But let me thank the chairman and ranking member for their leadership on this subcommittee. I know both of them have really made this one of their top priorities in their service in the United States Senate. And this is our hemisphere. This is our neighborhood. And their leadership has been extraordinary. I want to thank our two witnesses. The Summit of America gives us an opportunity once again to meet with our states in our hemisphere on a common agenda. I just want to agree with our leadership on this committee that it has to be under the values of our hemisphere, which are democratic states that respect human rights. I heard the exchange between Senator Rubio and our previous witness. I think it's critically important that our values are maintained at this summit, and it will be tested in the ability to allow those voices to be heard in countries that are autocratic and are not living up to the commitments that we expect in our hemisphere. I want to raise just one additional question, if I might. Regional organizations, I understand, will be part of this summit. There'll be a discussion as to how they can more effectively help in dealing with the issues that many of you have talked about. We could talk about the Inter-American Development Bank or the Pan-American Health Organization, but I want to talk about the Organization of American States. It's an important organization. Its venue or its headquarters is just a short distance from here. It seems to me it could be more an effective voice on the challenges of our hemisphere. So Senator Wicker and I, who chair and are ranking on the Helsinki Commission, have been extremely active in the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. We think that organization has been more effective in dealing with a lot of the issues comparable to what the OAS has done. And we think one of the reasons that is true is because there's a parliamentary dimension to the OSCE. There is no real parliamentary dimension at all to OAS. So we introduced legislation which was passed and signed into law in January of 2020 to instruct our mission to move forward with a parliamentary dimension within the OAS. I mention that because at the Summit of Americas, I heard that our chair is going to be bringing a delegation of legislators to that summit. I think that's an important thing for us to do. But I can tell you, having parliamentarians' participation in an organization enhances its effectiveness. We are not restricted as diplomats. We can call it the way it is. Listen to Senator Rubio. I mean, yeah, he'll tell you exactly the way. We can speak the truth. We also can translate our words into actions through parliamentary activities. So my question to our two witnesses is that looking at the regional organizations we have in our hemisphere, I don't want to lead the witness. Aren't there ways that we can make these organizations more effective? We put a lot of resources into it. We put a lot of time into it. And yet I would suggest that most members of Congress have little knowledge of what these regional organizations are all about.
Thank you, Senator Cardin. You're drawing attention to a very important issue, and that is the general state of the inter-American system, which I fully agree has been facing a great number of challenges. What I'll say, though, right off the bat is, in my my desire to push the administration to develop a holistic strategy and vision for the Americas, I think that this should be a core part of that strategy, is how to reinvigorate, renew, not just the OAS, but all of the various institutions that comprise the system. I very much appreciate these creative ideas, such as incorporating a parliamentary dimension to the OAS, and I think that that is a great place to start. But I do think that it's not just the OAS. I think we need to do more when it comes to the Inter-American Development Bank. The Inter-American Development Bank has not been engaged for a number of reasons. And I think the potential of the Inter-American system, I saw it firsthand when I was Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense and attended 2 Conference of Defense Ministers of the Americas with Secretary Hagel and then with Secretary Carter. And I saw the potential for real action in this sort of organization. At the time, it was in response to climate change and the increasing extreme weather events and the need for a hemisphere-wide mechanism for the militaries of the region to come together in support of civilian authorities to respond to to disaster response needs. So I fully agree that these are tools that we need to renew, we need to invigorate, and I urge the administration to make this a core part of an America's strategy.
Thank you.
Senator Rubio.